We are back for chapter 12, the final chapter of Taken Abroad.
Hallelujah.
I'm excited. You're excited. Bud's excited because he thought I was going to give him a potato chip. Even the boys in the other room making waffles to celebrate the end of Taken Abroad.
We are ready to go.
Yeah. Let's get our YouTube crap out of the way first. The whole, obligatory like and subscribe. We're going to have all of our links. The Linktree will be in the description. The individual links will be in the comments. We are Paco Pete Pot Pies on YouTube. We are Magnum Pot Pie on Rumble and Spotify. And as a matter of fact, on Spotify now, Paco has gotten all 3 years of the Holy Laurenography up for your listening pleasure. Let's see. We now accept donations. We're trying to save up for a laptop for Paco so we can do some live streams. So for donations, we have a Ko-Fi
At Paco Peep.
which is Paco Peep, and we have a Cash App, which is Magnum Pot Pie. We also have a Teespring that I set up. So if you want a Be Right Back coffee mug, that's where to go for that. And if things get really tragic, there'll be an OnlyFans there, so...
We also have a link to our Discord. You are more than welcome to join our insanity.
Yes.
A lot of like-minded people, and
Yes,
we just have fun.
And there's even a Paco Peeps torture dungeon.
Yeah,
That's where you can see pictures of it and other horrible things.
Yes. And no, it is not mandatory to tag me in it.
Yes, you must tag her in any pictures of it.
I just said don't. I just said don't.
Yes, so, all right, so, to recap so far, this clock-watching moron was in high school, and then things, and then he's, getting shot at in Iraq, and having the world's worst suicide bomber blow up in front of him.
Yeah.
And then he goes crazy, and he comes back, and people throw a surprise party for him, and he eats chicken pie. And then he peels 5,000 potatoes, and he starts killing people after he gets married. Is that about... and he puts down the zombie hamburger.
Yeah. And he's got a son.
Oh, yeah, he had a kid, and there's lots of ham and milk. Is there anything I've missed out of Taken Abroad?
No. Except that I don't think you can really qualify hamburgers, the psychiatrist's death, as a death. He's already undead.
Yeah, he did put down the zombie bubger, but, he will rise again.
I so want that to be the ending. All right.
When there's no more room in hell, the damn bubbers will walk the earth. And this is a surprisingly short chapter compared to the whole rest of the book. We're at the peak of the action. We are where his murders have ramped up. He's going to be gunning for Brooke. The police are onto him. We're at the peak of the action, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the peak of the story right here, and then we get one short chapter that ends the whole thing.
Well, let's get started, okay?
All right. So Aaron woke with a start. That's right. He's sleeping in his car in some random driveway down the road from his house. The police will never find him because this is all falling out of Lorne's diseased brain, and everybody's as stupid as he is.
Yes.
So... Aaron woke with a start when he heard an abnormal sound. His eyes focused on 2 raccoons playing on the hood of his car. He yelled and pounded on the dash of his car to scare the raccoons away. Irritated that they only looked at him and didn't leave, he laid heavily on the horn and watched angrily as the raccoons scurried off the hood and into the woods. A better writer, these raccoons constantly show up. They showed up in the woods when he was hunting deer. They showed up when he was chasing down and killing a woman. They're here now. A better writer, these raccoons would be, would be symbolic of something.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just Lorne I don't know. Maybe he saw raccoons. I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, I'm sure his place is infested with raccoons. But this was before he had the trailer of failures. I don't know.
After calming himself down, he looked at the digital clock on his radio. Aaron decided he would need to get something to eat before he set out on his mission that night. So he started up his car and drove to the next town and bought some junk food and a soda. He ate his meal in his car and headed back toward Bloomington.
Now, what did that add to the story? We have not been critiquing this as literature as we said we would. What did that add to the story?
It made me want junk food.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe we'll go get some junk food after this. Brooke was at home alone. Something had been giving her a bad feeling all day. Well, it was probably her husband sitting in a car right up the road.
Yeah.
And yelling at raccoons. And she decided to take Trevor to Aaron's mother's house and let them spend some time together for the night. Brooke had talked some to Aaron's mother, but didn't go into detail about the previous night. Why?
Why? Look, you have figured out that your husband has gone completely mental and is murdering people.
Yeah, you figured out your husband's killing people.
And
you're not going to be like, hey, here, take the baby. If you see Aaron, be careful. He might be trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is coming out of Lauren's diseased brain, and everybody is as stupid as he is.
Yep.
Let's see. She only let her know that Aaron had been acting strangely lately. Now it was dark again, and Brooke's fear had grown more. The dark had always done that to her. It wasn't that she was afraid of the dark, but afraid of what she couldn't see in the dark. Isn't that called being scared of the dark?
I think that's the point.
That's called being scared of the dark, right?
That's the point.
Yeah.
You're scared of the dark.
She laid on the couch after putting a movie in the DVD player. She was almost asleep when she heard a noise. It was someone trying to get in the front door. She sat there in fear and waited for something to happen. After what seemed like an hour, but was really only about 30 seconds, the front door knob stopped rattling.
Brooke quickly got up and opened the drawer to desk in the living room. Aaron's handgun was still there. She picked up the gun, making sure it was loaded, then went to the phone to call the police. There was no dial tone because they hadn't had sex in a while, so she didn't get a new phone.
Yeah, she didn't plop one out.
She knew then that Aaron had cut the phone line. She set the phone down and slowly backed up to the couch, looking around in fear with each step. Sitting down on the couch, she tried to calm herself by closing her eyes and taking a deep breath.
Which is what you do in a dangerous situation where your life is in danger. The first thing you do is you close your eyes, sit down on the couch, maybe grab some ham.
She's just wishing she was closer to the kitchen.
Yeah.
She needs a nice tall glass of milk.
Yeah, her natural instincts are going to kick in. She's going to make a ham sandwich and some milk. Yes, we have someone that loves all the milk references in this.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. There's no actual milk here yet. I'll let you know. Okay.
All she could do was think about Trevor and what his life would be like without her. It was bad enough that he would never have his father. She opened her eyes when the tears started to fall. While wiping the tears away, she decided she needed to be strong through this and come out the survivor. Her heart skipped when the echo of breaking glass came from one of the bedrooms. You know, he could have just said the sound. I don't think the echo is really...
Well, this is one of those big old stately manners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brooke slowly lifted herself off the couch and stood there shaking with the gun in her hand. She began to step quietly toward Trevor's room. Carefully opening the door, she said a silent prayer, then reached in to turn the light on. Her hand stopped before reaching the light switch when the light to hers and Aaron's bedroom turned on.
I like to think there's somebody that's like really invested in this. Like really wants to know where this story's going. Like this is their favorite book. And like they've come across us reading it and they're like, "Oh, good. Someone's finally going to have a serious reading of Taken Abroad." And then they get us and they're like, "Come on, you two. Stop talking and read. I need to know what happens next." And if that's you, well,
Sorry.
get better taste in books. I don't know what to tell you. You can read almost anything. Read a pamphlet. Read the little horoscopes on the Chinese restaurant menus. It's better than this book. Brooke moved her hand back, realizing that Aaron was in their bedroom. She moved quietly towards their bedroom and began to turn the knob. She tried to peek through the crack in the door to see where Aaron was. She could see him sitting on the bed with his back to her and his head down. She inched the door open, then stopped when he spoke.
I'm sorry for the way things have turned out, Brooke.
Aaron spoke with his back still to Brooke. Brooke wondered how he knew she was there.
Oh, okay.
And not the opening of the door didn't do it.
No.
She hadn't given any indication of her presence, just her footsteps, the opening of the door, all that stuff. But it wasn't like she was riding an elephant and beating a drum, I guess. She wasn't wearing any perfume to let off any smell. Oh, God. Lauren, come on, buddy.
Okay.
I mean, I know you're stupid, but... Okay, we let him any smell. Did he know she was there? Or was he just talking as if she was there? She couldn't find the answer, but she was freaked out over his actions.
Aaron stood up from his seat on the bed and slowly turned around.
Bum, bum, bum.
He looked at the door and spoke again. You can open the door all the way, Brooke. I know you're standing there, he told her.
Brooke pushed open the door. She didn't know what to say. She knew whatever she did say would have to be said with caution. Aaron was no longer the man she fell in love with, and she had to remember that. She thought hard for something to say. "Are you all right, baby?" Brooke asked him carefully.
No, I'm not, Aaron answered.
Brooke felt sincerely in Aaron's words.
Sincerity.
Oh yeah, sincerity. Good. Maybe I'm the 87. Brooke felt sincerity in Aaron's words and thought she saw regret in his eyes. Then, just as fast as she saw the sincerity and regret, she saw the evil come back in his eyes. Evil!
Evil!
He's turning into the werewolf again.
Oh, there go the ears.
There's the tail. Plop.
I've been killing people, Brooke. But I guess you've already figured that out, Aaron stated as he began to walk toward her.
"I don't know what you're talking about, baby," Brooke said, trying to convince Aaron that she didn't notice the change in him.
Aaron wasn't convinced, and his anger showed as his eyes grew mad. "You called the police on me."
The cops.
Don't tell me that you didn't, because I was at the psychiatrist's house when the police called and told Dr. Jeffs that you called. Aaron was growing more angry with every word.
Brooke didn't know what to do. She turned and slammed the door shut behind her and began to run for the front door.
Aaron flung open the door and ran after Brooke. She was fumbling with the lock on the front door when she saw him walking at a fast pace toward her. She got the door unlocked and started running for her car.
He flung open the door and ran after her.
Yes.
But then he's just sort of walking briskly. He's just sort of power walking towards her.
Look, he got tired. He has to conserve his strength.
I know. Well.
What I love is the fact that she's fumbling with the lock. Like, you changed the lock, bitch. If you're having a hard time, you did it wrong.
Doesn't she have a gun?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure she has a gun. I thought she did, and she made sure it was loaded too. Like, so in her hand is a gun.
Right.
Okay, just want to make sure that I was aware of this. Okay.
She got the door unlocked and started running for her car. She got as far as getting the door open when Aaron caught up with her. Brooke felt her head being jerked back by Aaron grabbing her hair, and the next thing she knew, she was being thrown on the ground. The gun that she held flew out of her hand on her way to the ground. Aaron was quickly on top of her and she couldn't move. She struggled to get Aaron off of her, but it was useless. She felt Aaron's fist connect with her cheek and felt the world around her grow dizzy. Weird that the world was feeling dizzy, but okay.
Yeah.
She was stunned and was at Aaron's mercy.
Just when she thought Aaron was going to be gentle with her.
Okay, I think I heard you say that wrong. What?
No, you gotta hear this whole sentence. This might be the best sentence ever written. Just when she thought Aaron was going to be gentle with her because of the slug he delivered her, she felt her hair being cut off.
What? God, I hope you're never that gentle with me, honey. Oh my He punched her so hard the world itself went dizzy. But he's being gentle.
But she thinks he's going to be gentle.
What? Oh
Okay.
my God. She's 87.
Yeah, she's like, he only hits me because he loves me.
Oh my God.
Oh, God. Okay. So, felt her hair being cut off. Aaron had his hand around her throat and choking her. Brooke began to gag and struggle again, desperate to grab a breath of air. She had her right hand on Aaron's right arm, which was choking her, and her left hand reaching out in search for a rock or anything on the ground in which she could use to hit Aaron with. She couldn't find anything in her reach, no matter which direction she moved her hand. She then remembered the knife that Aaron always carried on his belt. She reached down and felt the knife sheath.
Aaron realized that Brooke was trying to get his knife out of its sheath, but couldn't reach her hand with his left without letting go of his grip on her neck. Brooke felt Aaron's fist start pounding against her head. So he has a free hand.
Yeah.
But it's on the wrong side, and one can't possibly reach across one's body. Okay.
No. Not when somebody who's dazed and having the life choked out of them is so quickly moving their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooke felt Aaron's fist start pounding against her head. She wouldn't give up, even after the continuous blows to her head. She finally was able to get the knife out of the sheath and was able to stick it in Aaron's side.
She
Stick it.
Stuck it in. Aaron's grip relaxed on Brooke's throat, and Brooke took a much-needed breath of air as Aaron fell off her to the ground and landed on the ground with blood leaking out of his side. When Brooke got her breath back, she stood up and looked down at Aaron. She put her hand over her mouth and began crying, thinking that she had killed him. What? In the dark, she couldn't see that he was still breathing. She turned and made her way back to the house to get her cell phone.
What? Oh my!
This is...
Oh God!
Okay.
Did she get one because she stabbed him? Because she didn't have one earlier.
Well, she did stick it in.
Oh God! Aaron came to after passing out from the sudden loss of blood. He noticed Brooke was not there, and it came back to him that she had stabbed him with his own knife.
That bitch!
He scrambled wearily to his feet and fumbled to the house. Seeing the front door wide open, he knew Brooke was still inside the house, probably thinking he was dead. Thank you for that recap, moron.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Walking in the house, he painfully stumbled to the kitchen and got the butcher knife from the drawer. Now he would get her, and she would not escape. He could not let her out of the house this time. He walked back to the front door, closed, and locked it, because that worked last time. Yep. Then looked toward the bedroom and began walking.
Bye-bye. Brooke heard the front door close and lock. She began trembling in fear again. She thought for sure that she had killed Aaron, but knew now that she hadn't, and he was in the house with her again. Remaining quiet, she prayed that he would not come into the bedroom, but knew deep down that he was aware that's where she was.
She could just escape. He broke into the
bedroom. There's a window. Yeah, there's a window that's clearly on ground floor that she can get through, yes.
That he already busted
That's already
open.
busted, yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, she might cut herself.
Yeah.
Don't want to have that happen. Just as she found her cell phone, Aaron showed up at the bedroom door with a butcher's knife clutched tightly in his hand. Brooke could not escape, except through the open window. She was trapped, and she knew it.
Aaron smiled with an evilness in his eyes as he slowly walked toward Brooke. Brooks begging him to leave her alone did not jar him at all. The only thing she could feel was the desire of death emanating from Aaron. She backed up to the wall as far as she could, holding on to the edge of the dresser. She searched the small area for some type of weapon, but the only thing near was the lamp on top of the dresser. Before she had a chance to reach for it, Aaron was right there with his forearm pressed up against her neck, pressing her to the wall. Then she felt the tip of the butcher knife break into her skin on her abdomen. She began to cry from the pain and lack of air she was desperately needing again. She just knew this was the end. She still had her cell phone in her right hand, and without giving anything away, she felt around on the keypad of the cell phone and dialed 911, then send, while Aaron was yelling into her face, then dropped the phone on the floor. Brooke braced herself to try to free herself from Aaron. She reached for the lamp while Aaron was still distracted by his own yelling.
Yep, that's Lorne.
She grabbed the base of the brass lamp and swung it as hard as she could, connecting it with Aaron's skull. It didn't knock him out, but the effect was enough for Brooke to try to get free from Aaron and the knife. She started running to the door, but fell from Aaron diving and pushing her from behind. Try as she may, she couldn't move her right leg because Aaron had a grip on it and wouldn't let go.
Brooke kicked fiercely and somehow connected her boot heel with... I thought she was... I don't know. With her boot heel with Aaron's face. I thought she was, like, ready for bed. Maybe she sleeps with her boots on. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
I don't know.
Let's see. Brooke kicked fiercely and somehow connected her boot heel with Aaron's face, forcing Aaron to release the grip on her ankle. She scrambled to her feet, almost falling again as she did, and ran to the front door, unlocked and opened it, and began running towards her car again. She hit the ground hard when Aaron tackled her. Her ribs hurt bad from the impact of an object still pressing against her ribs. It was the gun that flew out of her hand when Aaron hit her the first time. Aaron roughly flipped her over, grabbed her throat again, and began choking her with the butcher knife rising in the air.
I was going to take you alive to the place where I buried the others. But I think I've had enough of a hard time with you. Aaron sputtered out the location of his personal burial ground and told Brooke how proud she would have been of him and how he even placed little American flags on their graves, representing that they were killed by an American soldier.
Well, that might actually be... I mean, let's be honest, it's not going to be interesting dialogue. But that might actually be interesting dialogue, to include here.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just left for the reader to imagine.
I had to kill them. They were the enemy, Brooke. Just like you turned out to be. Aaron finished as he raised the knife higher to strike Brooke in the heart.
Now, you would imagine there's probably at least one more chapter after this. Because the action's building to a crescendo. 1, 2, 3 paragraphs to go. Brooke frantically searched for the gun with her fingers. It was.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. As Aaron continued his speech, when she. So, okay. Hang on, I gotta stop there. So she fell on the gun.
Yeah.
All right. He's giving her a speech while he's holding his hand on her throat and got the knife ready, right?
Right.
So he's on top of her. He's like inches away from her, right?
Yeah.
Giving his big old, here's the location of my graveyard speech, right?
Monologuing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his big old villain monologue, right? And he doesn't notice her like reaching around for a gun?
No.
No, you're right, because it's Lorne. Oh, Lord. When she finally found it and grasped it in her hand, Aaron was finished with talking and beginning his strike at Brooke's chest. Aaron's eyes grew wide with horror when she saw Brooke raise the gun quickly. How? How did she raise the gun? He's on top of her. The gun would have had no. I don't know. I don't know. Raised the gun quickly, and before he could react, the bullet hit him with a short thud in his chest. I'm just wondering about
he's already in movement to stab her.
Yeah.
But I guess she's like Speedy McJaw, and it's like, ha-ha!
Yeah, she had time to get like in a Weaver stance or something. Good God. Felt the bullet hit him with a short thud in his chest. Aaron fell to the ground, taking his last short breaths.
Brooke laid there crying when she heard the police sirens coming up the road. She turned her head and looked over at Aaron. His eyes were still open, but lifeless.
And evil!
Brooke reached over and closed Aaron's eyes, then ran her hand across his cheek. It was over.
Okay, you're gonna like this last paragraph.
Go for it.
The bodies of the people that Aaron had killed and buried were found because of Brooke's repeating to the police what Aaron had told her. She sat there at the funeral of 5 different people. One person that at one time she knew very well. The other 4 that she didn't know at all, but grieved over because they represented the end of the life that she knew and loved. Brooke stood up and walked away from the gravesites, hand in hand with Trevor and Aaron's mother. Now it was time to move on and start a new life, keeping only the memories of the man Aaron used to be. So this town had a group funeral for the victims and the serial killer together.
Yeah? Of course. That's the way it's done. They did leave out a part, though.
Yeah, the very end, sort of the P.S. at the end is then the dirt from one of the graves began to stir, and a clawed hand reached up, and a voice was heard going, "Claire." So there you go.
I'm coming, Claire.
So there you go. This long, stupid book about eating ham and drinking milk and turning into a werewolf concludes in 3 paragraphs.
With a single funeral for everybody.
Including the murderer. Because I gotta think the families of these people are very happy to have the murderer's family sitting right there while the murderer's body...
Yeah, and just as they walk away from the grave sites, which
All
means it's
their-
not even he's over here and they're off with their...
No, they got 5... No,
it's just...
I like to think that they took that area of the woods and just declared that a cemetery.
Right?
They
Let's
left the
bury
flag-
his body here, only he doesn't get an American flag.
No, he gets an Iraqi flag.
Oh my god.
The Transylvanian flag is a werewolf.
Oh my god.
But I mean, this whole stupid book about ham and murder concludes in 3 paragraphs with him with his mother, his wife, and his kid all walking off into the sunset.
There was more description in the weirdly sexual spaghetti scene with his mom than there is here. What?
And this is He Never Meant to Do It, the book. We the reader are like it. What the author wanted was for us, the reader, to read this and feel bad for Aaron because he never meant to do any of it and he was messed up at the time. This is Lorne's excuse.
Yeah.
In book form.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I've often said, whenever the topic comes up, I've often said that if you want to understand Lorne, because he hasn't grown a bit.
No.
If you want to understand Lorne, all you need to do is read Taken Abroad and read the chat log, and you know everything there is to know about the psyche of this thing. I mean, that's it. We see what he thinks an ideal world looks like, is where he's sitting there and his wife has no autonomy and cooks him ham. His mom comes over and does all the hard work for him. You know, he has a job he goes to when he feels like it. He has a house and car given to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his car is the one his mom gave him. His house was Brooke's house, so he's got a house and car given to him. You know, and he just sits around, eats ham, and drinks milk until the murders start.
Yeah.
And then once he's committing his crimes, you're not supposed to think he's a bad guy because he never even meant to do it. That's Lorne right there.
Yes. I am so glad to be done with this book.
You know, we still got The Creature to read.
Have we found the rest of it?
There is no rest of it. The Creature is unfinished.
Oh, we need to finish it then.
Yeah, maybe we can read it and we can get somebody to try and... It would be great if there's somebody listening that's like a good writer, right?
Yeah.
And like we read The Creature, right? And then they fill in like the parts that are missing with like actual competent writing. So like you've got competent writing and then Lorne. And then competent writing. And then Lorne.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, like just filling in the blanks and the parts that Lorne just skips with like actual good writing.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
And I do still need to work on the Trail to Temptation, Lorne's favorite book.
Oh my goodness. So much to do, and well,
we're old and fat.
Yeah, and tired.
Yeah. So. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed the book. Kiss, kiss.